When it comes to assessing the official figures from the government sources, you have to take them with a pinch of salt because that number can be very easily manipulated. And I'll give you one example. So I'm looking at the stats published by Stats Canada, and according to them, in the month of December 2024, we have seen a massive growth in terms of the investment went into the building construction in Canada. According to Stats Canada, we have seen a growth of 4.7% investment went into building construction in just a month of December compared to last year, which equals to a growth of $408 million in just 1 month. Just 1 month. So massive growth, right? So when you look at the official figures, it looks like we have received a lot of investment into the building construction in Canada, which means we might be producing more output, more activity in the building construction going forward, right? That's what you conclude out of these statistics. But the reality is slightly different, okay? So the thing here is that number, it's not adjusted with inflation. So when you adjust that with inflation to get the real sense of the dollar amount that went into the building construction and how much output it has produced, the result is mind-blowing. When you adjust with inflation, you don't use CPI because CPI is CPI because that also a very heavily manipulated number. We are talking about construction industry, so you have to consider the inflation in the construction industry, okay? And that inflation is close to 50% because when we look at the labor cost has gone up, material cost has gone up, you have the permit fees has gone up, government taxes, charges, levies, everything has gone up. So if we adjust that number with a 50% inflation in the construction industry in the last 5 years, we see a very different picture. Take a look at this chart. So the dark blue line is telling you the amount of dollars that we have seen in terms of the investment went into the building construction. And the blue line is actually adjusted with inflation. And that inflation is only related to construction industry. And you can see the massive difference, right? The headline number looks pretty awesome, but the actual real number is actually flat. It's not even flat, it's lower than what we invested in 2019, right? So that's the biggest dilemma of productivity loss in Canada. So what it tells you is the amount of dollar that we have invested in the building construction, 1/3 actually ends up in producing some stuff. The rest has gone into inflation. So 70% of what we invested is actually killed by inflation in the form of higher wages, in the labor cost, in the form of higher material cost, higher taxes, fees, permit fees, pretty much everything. So when you listen to a Keynesian economist, they will tell you in order to stimulate economy, we need credit expansion. We need to print more money. We have to reduce the interest rate to make money cheaper, to stimulate growth. But the reality is when you do that, you debase the currency. When you debase the currency, everything else gets expensive. Labor, material, permit fees, bureaucracy, everything gets expensive. And that expansion in credit doesn't create any productivity growth. It actually makes things worse. So we are in a cycle where your economy is stagnant. To stimulate the economy, you increase the credit. That makes dollar cheaper. That makes everything else expensive. That makes labor expensive, material expensive, and then we end up having lower productivity. Oh, we need more credit expansion. So we print more money. That creates more inflation. It makes labor expensive, everything else expensive. We are back to square one. So we are stuck in this cycle, spinning wheels. And that's why we are not increasing productivity in this country. So you're going to ask, what should we do? Well, we have to remove the bureaucracy out of the way. Reduce the paperwork, remove government taxes and levies. Get the bureaucracy out of the way. Let the private sector do its job. Invest into resources, upskilling them, give them latest tools to be more productive. That's how we increase productivity in this country, and that's how we will create more goods and services to drive the real GDP up, not the non-adjusted GDP, because that is hidden by the inflation. The actual output is much lower. So what's going to happen? This thing will continue. and your Canadian dollar that you earn is going to debase. So your purchasing power is going to continue erode. So what you're going to do, you have to invest into hard assets, gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate, high performing stocks. That's the only way to survive, man. Otherwise, your fiat currency is going to get eroded. Anyway, you let me know what you think about that. Put your comments down below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Check out my courses that I have created just for you to be super educated on these things and invest wisely. See you next time. Are you feeling lost in the complexity of global economy and trying to understand how this is going to impact your investment portfolio? You are not alone, my friend. I have been through and I have learned the hard way, and I'm trying to converge all of my experience and learnings into a course that I just designed specifically for you. In this course, Mastering Macroeconomic Fundamentals for Investment Strategies, I'll show you how to decode the economic trends, navigate market cycles, and build smarter, adaptable investment strategies. You're going to learn, analyze key indicators like GDP, inflation, and yield curves, identify opportunities in commodities and crypto alike, and adjust your portfolio to thrive in any cycle. With real-world examples and actionable insight, this course will empower you to invest with confidence, no matter what the market is. Don't just react to the news. Understand them. Enroll now and take control of your financial future today.